Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jan Moses, back here with a weekend edition of the Salary Cap Report. Bringing you this episode during the very first weekend that King of the Court is live, which may make for a good weekend to play Salary Cap online if you wanted to. Seems like a lot of people are playing in King of the Court. We're going to be throwing our hat into the ring, maybe a little bit in the King of the Court tournament at some point this weekend, now that we have the entirety of the weekend to get it done, and not just that 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time window like we had in 2K25 MyTeam, which, you know, is pretty nice. I know there are a lot of issues right now with King of the Court in terms of Zenners and people that are dashboarding. There are a lot of issues. I just want to, if I play King of the Court, to place in the top 50% so I can at least get one of those Hidden Gems Diamond packs, even if it just has one player. Obviously, as you tier your way up, you get more players in your option pack, whereas if you're, I think if you're in the top 50%, you only get one diamond player, and that's all you get to choose from, basically just that one. But anyways, that's for King of the Court. I mentioned all that to say there will be one more video today where I go over what my updated best squad is. I'm not going to call it a God squad because it is a borderline poverty squad. I barely have anyone good, but I just want to show it to you guys because if I'm going to go and play in King of the Court just for fun with a lineup that's as trash as mine in hopes that I can at least win one game, hopefully it'll inspire some of you guys to give it a shot if you're on the fence about playing in King of the Court yourselves. So that'll be a video a little bit later on. Let's focus on salary cap because we do have a couple of things to talk about today. First and foremost, it looks like the salaries actually change on Fridays now, or at the very least, they don't seem to change on Saturdays, because when I got onto the game last night, I saw that my team salary was down to 9,600, and now this morning, I'm still at 9,600 salary for my 13 players in this salary cap lineup. And the main reason for that is I think we had maybe one of the golds went up in salary, although I'm pretty sure Dennis Schroeder and Tobias Harris were both at 300 salary before. But the major change here, I think, is Austin Reeves going from 800 down to 500 salary. And I don't think anyone else changed in salary because Monty Morris, Jamal Mashburn, Terry Mills, Kelsey Plum, Darrell Wright, all those players were at 1,200 salary before. DeMar DeRozan was at 500 before. Same with Pau Gasol. So yeah, I think everyone else has basically stayed exactly the same with the exception of Austin Reeves, and maybe one of these gold cards possibly dropped as well. But the point is, take a look on Fridays when the new content drops at 11 a.m. Eastern. You may see that your players in your salary cap lineup have had salary changes, which I think is kind of nice. I think it makes more sense for these salary changes to take place on Fridays because that's when new rounds are going to begin too. You know, a week from yesterday, so 6 days from today at 11 a.m. and this video should hopefully go live right around 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, September 13th. But right around 11 a.m. Eastern next Friday, we should see round 2 of salary cap begin. So I like the idea of new round of salary cap begins, salary cap changes go into effect. And maybe if they do put the salary changes in at the same time that they normally would, which is at like 3 a.m. I think, Eastern time, because that's what, 12 a.m. You know, on the West Coast, then you can maybe get a few salary cap games in for the previous round before the new round begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, with your salary cap players, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyways, that's the first thing I want to talk about with you guys. Salary cap changes look to be taking place in terms of our player salaries Friday mornings now instead of on Saturdays. We'll see if we get any salary changes on Tuesdays. Maybe we're only getting one day a week that we get salary changes, and that one day could be Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So that's the first thing. We talked about Austin Reeves being down to 500. The only other major change that I saw in my collection, and once again, I don't have many players, so you guys probably, if you're watching this video, have more players than I do in my collection, and so it's definitely worth going over all the players in your collections. And again, I think the easiest way to do so, you go to your lineup, you press on one of the players, you click replace player, then you press the pause button, you go down to max salary, and you go through all the different thresholds. So again, I think at this stage of the game, you're not going to be bringing in any diamonds. If you want to, what you could do, like if you have any diamond players, you can first start by going at a max salary of 2,000. This will show you if you have any diamonds that are basically less than 5,000 salary, because I think every single player right now in this game is either minned out or maxed out with respect to their salaries. Amethysts range from 1,200 to 2,000. Diamonds are from 2,000 to 5,000. So like, for example, I think Trey Young he's at 5,000 salary, as you can see there on the bottom right hand side. So I like, for example, for me, I always start at 1,200 salary. We'll go there first, and you'll see, just like last week, the only Amethyst card that will play for me at 1,200 salary is unfortunately still Jamal Mashburn, which is not bad. He's currently in my lineup, but that's mostly because of his salary being at 1,200. A lot of my rubies are still at 1,200 as well. If I were to go and sort now by 800, or by by 800, which is the minimum salary that a ruby can be, you'll see we're going to disregard these Evo cards. We're going to get to Cynthia Cooper-Dyke in a second. But we still have Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, my two NBA Series 1 cards from the Mavericks collection that are still at 800. And then Jalen Brunson, who I got a couple of days ago, he's also at an 800 salary as well. Going down to 500, you're going to see, I think, mostly Emerald cards. Yeah, you can see again, Austin Reeves, my only Sapphire, who's at 500 salary. Everyone else is Emerald. And then if you keep working your way down, you're going to probably see again, I think 95% of your players in your collection are going to have their salaries maxed out, which is a little frustrating. That's why having players that are minned out, like Austin Reeves, are worth putting into your collection, because this is going to give you more flexibility to include more players in your lineups. Now, I haven't, full disclosure, I have not really tinkered around with my lineups all that much. I usually, before these videos drop, these episodes drop, I like to work on a lineup before I show it to you guys to try and save time. So I'm not going to spend too much time now messing around with my lineup to try and find the optimal lineup that fits right at or underneath 10,000 salary. But there are a couple of players that I definitely want to add to my lineup. So Kelsey Plum, 1,200 salary. We have 5 players that are at 1,200 salary. I want to replace Kelsey Plum as of right now with Cynthia Cooper-Dyke, who's one of the starters that we get as an Emerald, who can be evoed up to a Ruby. The other Evo cards are all at 500 salary, which is the max salary that an Emerald card can be. Cynthia Cooper-Dyke, if you look here on the bottom right, is down to 300 salary. I think this makes Cynthia Cooper-Dyke, especially for offline salary cap, one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable player to bring into salary cap, just because of how low her salary is. And her badges are not bad. I remember her jumper not being all that good, but look at all these badges, a lot of nice ones on silver, and she has gold lightning launch, which you're going to want against the CPU. You're going to be able to get that blow-by animation getting around the on-ball defender, and that's going to force the CPU help defenders to crash into the paint, leaving one of your other players on the perimeter wide open for 3. You can use and abuse that as much as you want. That's where we're going to go at the point guard position to start. As I back out of it, this whole like user interface thing confuses me quite a bit. It's kind of frustrating. So just by doing that, we've now saved ourselves 900 salary, which is great. And then we're going to make another change here at the point guard and shooting guard positions in my starting lineup. And we're going to be bringing in players who we got this week in the agendas. So if you take a look here, season 1 agendas, we're going to go down to, right here, literally the first thing. Dynamic duo, Henry Bibby and Earl the Pearl Monroe. These cards have a dynamic duo with each other, and we're going to go over that duo and why I think this is going to be probably the best duo for you to bring into salary cap. And if you play your cards right, this may even be effective for you in online salary cap. These agendas are really easy. We're not going to go over all these. I don't have to complete these to get Earl Monroe, because I already got Earl Monroe out of one of my Gems of the Game packs from Breakout, which is kind of convenient. So we can go right to the collection, go to Gems of the Game, right here. Here's Earl the Pearl Monroe, and now we can look at these dynamic duo boosts that each of these cards get. So we're not going to really spend too much time worrying about the different attribute boosts like speed and 3-point shooting. Like, they're all nice boosts, don't get me wrong. They are a little undersized, and you have to play them at the same time in case you are new to the game and you don't know how these dynamic duos work. They can't just be in your lineup. They have to be on the floor together for these boosts to work. You can't run Henry Bibby as your starting point guard and Earl Monroe as your bench point guard and have these boosts that we're about to go over go into effect. So I'm going to have Henry Bibby as my starting point guard and Earl Monroe as my starting shooting guard, which again, I think for offline play is going to be amazing because these cards become amethyst cards at 800 salary each, which is great. And then look at the badge boosts. If you played this game last year, then you know that there is a way to kind of manipulate the badge boost to give your players Hall of Fame or even Legend badges if they get at least, well, I guess technically at least one badge upgrade, but ideally 2 badge upgrades. So for example, look at Earl Monroe. With this dynamic duo boost, he goes from having silver Deadeye, or sorry, no Deadeye, up to silver Deadeye, which is technically a 2 badge upgrade. Which means if you were to give base Earl Monroe a gold Deadeye badge, then he will get that 2 badge upgrade for Deadeye, and he will go up from gold to legend Deadeye if you have Henry Bibby with Earl Monroe on the floor at the same time. And you can apply that for any of these badges where you see it go from nothing to silver, right? Like for example, layup mixmaster. I mean, if you have it on Hall of Fame, then it'll go up to legend, but do you really care about that? I don't think so. Shifty shooter, going from having, he doesn't have any shifty shooter badge. With the duo boost, he has gold shifty shooter. That means that if he has, I think, silver shifty shooter, he's getting a 3 badge upgrade. So you're going to go silver, gold, Hall of Fame, legend. So just like that, just by having silver shifty, he's going to get legend shifty shooter, which is great. On-ball menace as well. So many badges that get at least 2 upgrades, which is really, really nice. Henry Bibby, similar story. He goes from bronze Deadeye up to gold Deadeye, which means if you give him gold Deadeye before the boost, he's going to go up to legend Deadeye. Dimer, I think, is a very important badge to put on him. If you put it on gold, same story. He'll get legend Dimer, which is great. Immovable Enforcer. He has so many good badges that you can pick from. The issue is, because they are Sapphire cards, and I'll show you guys this in a second, because we're not going to be upgrading any of their badges in this video. If we go to my salary cap lineup, and we put Henry Bibby here, Henry Bibby, we're going to bench DeMar for now, and we're going to put Earl the Pearl Monroe here. You can now see they're both amethysts, which is really nice. And then if we go to edit player, you can see empty badge slots at the top of the screen there. It says 2. So of all those badges that I showed you guys that get upgraded with this duo boost, you can only pick 2 of those badges to upgrade. So I would say choose wisely. I would say, again, prioritize badges like Deadeye, like Dimer. I think On-Ball Menace is a really safe badge to upgrade on both of these cards, depending on the price of On-Ball Menace. I don't think if On-Ball Menace is worth like, 4,000 to 5,000 MT, is that worth it for 2 undersized Sapphire guards? I don't know. I mean, I think, again, if you're playing salary cap offline, I think this duo is a must-have duo. You can get both of these cards for free from completing very easy agendas. Duos have always been the secret sauce of salary cap. Evos are also really helpful because Evos usually maintain a really low salary. Like in the case of these starters, again, they all started out as emeralds, so we're not going to see cards like Pau Gasol and Ben Wallace, for example, and DeMar DeRozan go up past 500 salary. And in certain rare situations, we'll have players like Cooper Dyke, who's going to have, 300 salary? Yeah, 300 salary. So Evo cards, Gems of the Game, Sapphire cards, like these duos and these Evo cards are going to be really helpful because now that we bring them in, for example, let's just say we wanted to bring in a 2,000 salary small forward. Now, like, let's say I want to bring in Mikal Bridges. I can bring in Mikal Bridges and I still have 600 salary to mess around with, which is great, and there are some other changes I may want to make. Like, I may want to bench Terry Mills because he wasn't all that good for me. Jarrell Wright's a better shooter for me. And then I kind of want to bring in, speaking of shooting, another card that I just got, which is Peja Stojakovic, who's going to be, I think, 400 salary less than, 400 salary less, which is great. So now, once again, we're in a situation where I can bring in another Amethyst card if I wanted to. So again, let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say I want to bring in another Amethyst card. Let's just say I want to bring in Julius Randle. So now I can bring in Amethyst Bridges, Amethyst Julius Randle, and now I'm at 9,800 salary, which I think is awesome. I have enough salary to bring in, another player who has, an additional 200 salary. So I could bring in, if I had, maybe there was an Emerald point guard who I like, or a Sapphire point guard who's at 500 salary who I like. I could bring in Austin Reeves, keep him at point guard. I can put in another Emerald player who's taller than Cynthia Cooper-Dyke at 500 salary, and I'll be cooking. So yeah, I'm going to keep Cynthia Cooper-Dyke because I like having her at 300 salary, but this is just like an example of a really effective offline salary cap lineup. And heck, who knows, maybe I could even do decently with this lineup online. I'm not saying I would win a lot of games with this lineup, but I think given my collection, like who I have available to me, I think this is a really solid lineup, especially if I badge out Henry Bibby and Earl Monroe and take advantage of those badge boosts that I showed you guys in the collections tab. So okay, we have a couple of packs that we want to open up here. We're hitting 16 minutes, I think, on the video. So let's go ahead and open up. I have a few packs I want to save for my main squad video, but I have a bunch of these Gems of the Game and Hidden Gems packs. I'm going to open up maybe this Game On Deluxe and this regular Arrival pack. I ended up playing some Park with Harry last night. We went on a 13-game win streak with him bringing Pink Diamond Clay and me bringing the Pro Pass Kevin Durant, which is insane. I was greening shots with KD like crazy. I could not believe it, man. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast playing twos with Harry. Hopefully, we'll get to bring you guys some of that content, maybe on stream, or if not, for YouTube videos in the future. That could be an absolute blast. Let's go ahead and open up some of these packs, though. Maybe we can get a player or two that we can add to our collection here that we can run in salary cap. We get Billy Knight, probably not going to play for us. Let's get this pack out of the way real quick. And then for our main squad video, we're going to have those deluxe packs from the Arrival set. We'd love to see Obi Toppin. As we get Ricky Davis, that could be a really interesting shooting guard to bring into our salary cap lineup. Maybe I'll bring him in over like Mikal Bridges or something. Another Hidden Gems card, or Gems of the Game, we'll see. Hidden Gems, Rodney Stuckey. That could be a really fun card. I think he's a 6'5" point guard, I think. Could be wrong. Gems of the Game 84s. We do need these lower tier cards as well for our salary cap lineups. It is not going to be the plus. We get Grant Williams, who we unfortunately already have, and he is unauctionable, so we're just going to quick sell him. That kind of sucks. Get this 80 plus out of the way, and then we have, I think, our final two packs. We have a regular Arrival pack, and then we're going to have a Game On Deluxe. Chris Dudley, probably not going to see any meaningful minutes for us. Oh, we have one more of these packs. And we're going to get on out of here. Let's see who we get. We get Pascal Siakam. That's one of the Gems of the Game cards I actually did want to get because he's, a current NBA player. Okay, regular Arrival pack. I doubt we're going to see a shake out of these. My pack luck has been atrocious with these free packs. We don't get a shake, to no one's surprise. We get Nick Batum and Fred Saunders. Not exciting at all. All right, Game On Deluxe. I just want to take a quick look. I don't think there are any Game On Deluxe Amethyst cards that we don't have. Yeah, we have all of them except for Vlade Divac. So I guess we're hoping to see a center. DeMarcus Cousins as a free agent is hilarious. Here we go. I mean, I would love to see a Diamond Shake. Would not be mad at that. Here we go. Game On Deluxe pack for all the marbles. Let's see it. It is an Amethyst. All right, let me see center, 2K. Come on, give me Vlade. Give me Vlade. Okay, it's not Vlade. It's going to be a dupe. It's going to be Julius Randle, it looks like, which is fine. Julius Randle, we'll just quick sell him. We'll take the MT, and we'll get on out of here. I can't be mad at getting it, my boy Julius Randle. Don't like seeing him in a New Orleans Pelicans jersey. Should have been a Knicks jersey. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. Should not be in a Brooklyn Nets jersey, but whatever. They're clearly saving Knicks Julius Randle and Mikal Bridges for higher tier cards later on in the year. Can't be mad at that, right? Let me just confirm, make sure. Yep, it is unauctionable. Nothing really of note for me to exchange him for. We'll take the 800 MT. And there you have it, man. So we're going to be opening up some packs, like I said, in my main squad lineup update video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the Salary Cap Report. Looking forward to bringing you guys more of this content soon. And I may have to play some Salary Cap online this week because I don't know if you guys saw at the top of the video. We are only at 181 points. So we have some work to do. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you later.